bit of a reflective mirror, I guess, for everyone today. We're new to this community, a couple of months here now. And what we see, and so yesterday, a couple of days ago, we went to the fair, the arts lazy days, and I met two members there. Martin Kempich is doing there, and also Hudson River Inlet, those folks. And the brother from Hudson River, Hudson Valley, whatever, Inlet, Hudson River Inlet, he said he does lots and lots of shows around the region. This is his region. This is the best. He says Cary is the best place for him and for these shows, because he said young people come out and help you set up your stall, your booths. So it's like they just do it, So that's really good volunteer spirit. I don't know where. Anyway, so that's special. Then I went last night to the playground near where we live right now, and it's in Morrisville actually, and it's so diverse, all kinds of races, from all over the world there. They're all kids playing together. That's kind of neat. And then yesterday morning, my daughter and son is here, and my son and Sue they were going to go off to play tennis. And I said, who are you playing tennis with? And she said, Jason and the Honeycuts. And I thought, that'd be a good name for a rock band. Jason and the Honeycuts. And then I realized, and then he told me they were, and then I never met Jason, Like there's a lot of people in the community I've never met. I didn't meet through Sunday service. How did I meet them? By caring, because there are people who care. So I feel like I'm moving this week. I'm moving to caring. I'm moving to Cary from Morrisville. And the original reason to move, besides my son lived there, was that I get tired of telling people on the phone when I give my address, Morrisville, M-O-R-R-I-S. It's such a long word. So I thought, I want to live in a place with a very short name, C-A-R-Y. And I know what it stands for, concentration camp for, what is it? Angry...
Central Area for Relocated Yankees.
Concentration camp for angry relocated Yankees. So, we're moving to Cary this week. But I feel like, it came from, so I went down to downtown Cary for the first time. And there was Ron Papalardo on the street to greet me there. It was amazing, like God planted him there to greet me. So we're caring. And that's how I've met everybody in this community, not everybody, but a lot more people than who come here to caring. So a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I gave this kind of announcement. I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't know if I should or not, my young situation. And there's so much caring popped out from people who are, they're on the mailing list. They don't come here. And so I sort of, I don't want to put salt in the wound or nudge it sore, but I realize why they're not here. More than one reason, but there's different reasons they're not here. But caring pulls them together. Something like that. So I'm moving to, as I feel like I'm moving to caring. And also last night at the playground, I feel like when the weather's getting a little cooler, it could have been part of that too. But I really like this area, actually. That's what I realized. So I want to start with Jesus' words. When the teacher of the law was trying to test Jesus, and he said, I know what you're supposed to do: love God with all your soul, all your heart, all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And Jesus said, you've answered correctly. Do this and you will live. And then the teacher of the law wants to justify himself. That means he knows he's off track, but he wants to pretend like he's okay, or defend or protect himself. He says, okay, so who's my neighbor? And you know what Jesus replied, right? The man, he gave the story of the Samaritan, the Good Samaritan. And the point I want to bring out isn't the Good Samaritan, but the guy who's beaten up, who the Good Samaritan helped. Because that's the whole point of the story, that this Good Samaritan helped somebody who everybody else ignored. Because why? Because he couldn't give anything back. He had nothing to give. He's like naked, he's beaten up, he's half dead. That's who your neighbor is. Not the person who has a nice swimming pool and nice barbecue and da-da-da. All kinds of resources you can tap into. It's the person who's naked and nothing and half dead. That's who you're supposed to. Then you'll go. Then you'll be justified. Love the naked, the beaten, the abandoned person who has nothing. And they're all over the place, even in caring. And that means, and Jesus sort of re-emphasized this in this other passage, who's going to be blessed by the Father? Who's going to get the inheritance, go to the kingdom? Prepare for you since the creation of the world. I mean, God, okay? One, the hungry, one who has no food, who's thirsty, has nothing to drink, who's a stranger, who's abandoned, who you don't know, who you can ignore, and nobody's going to say anything, because you don't know him. I don't know him either. And naked, and sick, and beaten up, and even he's in prison. And you came to this, and you took care of that person. You cared. So are we really caring? So I want to now share some words from your Father. Starving, love the starving, the abandoned, the naked, the sick prisoner. There's a lot of sick prisoners in America, right? Per capita, we've got a very high number of sick prisoners. So we have a lot of opportunity to go to heaven. So I want to expand upon the application of these teachings. I mean, in a way, divine principle is just the application of what Jesus taught and lived, and some expansion. You apply it, expand it. By Father, true Father, Reverend Son, Young Moon. Because he told me personally, I mean, it was with a lot of people, but it was personally to me, told me this around 2006, 7, 8, 9, sometime in there. He said to me, everything I'm doing for Jesus. Who'd have thunk? Yeah, I guess that's right. Okay, I'm doing it for Jesus. So this sermon Father gave is called, Who Was I? And where it was given and when. We're not born for ourselves. You were born for that naked, hungry, starving, abandoned person. That's who we were born for. You thought you were born for yourself. My tie is getting worn out. I better take care, I better make sure, that I'm doing okay. But you were born to make sure you're doing okay. You were born to make sure the other person is doing okay. We were not born for ourselves. And the model, he gives a couple of models here that we can all relate to. Our parents. Parents who love their children in actual deed, actually love their children, and your children are your children until they're 70 years old, right? Forever. Become servants to their children. They become servants to their children. So who's in the subject position? The children. The parents take the object position to the children. And then the children feel, hey, I'm a princess. I'm a prince of the universe. No matter how dirty a baby is, the parents just change his or her diapers. Until they're 40 years old, 50 years old, 80 years old, still, somehow, some way, they're still their parents. And this is a lifelong lesson and practice. And this is the one that hit me, especially lately. The true husband is like a servant to his wife. He may not even ask for anything, but he knows knows what she needs. You know what she needs, you guys. But down here, you know what she needs. And voluntarily serves her with a loving heart. So what's more important, what you need or what she needs? What she needs is more important than what you need. You were created to serve a woman, a member of the opposite universe. Because the only one that God could find who was suitable for Adam wasn't an animal, wasn't a dog. Harry Truman said, if you want to find a friend in Washington, if you want a friend in Washington, get a dog. He was president, right? She's not your dog. She's not even, she's not just going to wag your tail and lick you and just, I love you so much, That's not suitable for you. God brought the dog to Adam. The dog was really happy to see Adam. So happy. But no, that's not what you need. She needed, not part of the creation. You need someone who's from outside the creation, from God, Breath of life came from God to Eve. She's his helper. Because this guy needs help. Okay, he knows what she needs and voluntarily serves her with a loving heart. That's the highest form of intelligence, you fellas, is to figure out what's going to make your wife happy. My father said to me, when we were long time ago, he visited my wife and I, and we had one child. He says to me, your wife isn't happy. My dad, he saw it. She's not happy. What do you mean? She's happy. I'm like in denial for 30 years. My wife's happy. My wife's happy. My wife's happy. Because I was just living for myself, So I'm trying to change now. So he knows what she needs and voluntarily serves. He cares. He's caring about her with a loving heart. That's a true husband. And guess what? Sisters, the wife's position toward her husband is also as a servant. You don't get off, right? Oh, it's on. Okay. They're both the same, right? Flip side. So what he has, even St. Paul said, the husband's body doesn't belong to him, it belongs to his wife. So you're responsible for his body, and he's responsible for yours. That's an incredible truth. So Father said, if you want to live a true life as husband, wife, you must, and he's talking about husband and wife, but he says, it's the same for the whole society. Somehow this same principle makes a true society. How can we apply this in a society? Here in Caring, Durham, etc. The police officer who cared about a lady that he, pulled over, and what an impact that made. Caring society or nation, a caring nation. Does that mean it's like a girl nation or a boy nation? No, it's it's both harmonized together. You must live the truth of service if you want to live a true life. Who here does not want to live a true life? Raise your hand. I figured out that technique finally. Technique of rhetoric. Raise your hand. You asked like a dumb question. Raise your hand. Okay, by living and serving others, you become true. Not by going to a university, you become true. By making a lot of money, you become true. By living for and serving others. That's how you become true. So everybody can do it. You can do it at home. In fact, you have to do it at home. The more you serve, the more you become the central figure. The central figure is the one who serves the most. Parents, husband, wife, you know. Young people simply think, why should I be foolish and worry about serving others? I'm going to live my own life. That seems to be very clever thinking, but actually it is violating universal law and is not clever at all. So what's his name? There's this famous guy, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. And this Carrey stuff. He said, I hope that everybody can become rich and famous and powerful. Everybody in the world, I hope we can all become rich and famous so that they will realize that that's not where it's at. But until we don't realize. God created us to be the center of the universe, the center of his whole creation. If you want to become the center of the universe, there was this old rock song that went, everybody wants to rule the world. Do you remember that song?
Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears wants to rule. Everybody goes, yeah, I want to rule the world. Really? I want to be the center of the world. And here's how you can. You're supposed to be the center of the world, the universe. First you got to become, the center of the world. You have to have the desire and hope to serve the world and the universe with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind. Accomplishing that will make you the center. Even if you are, when I joined this movement, I felt like I was the absolute center. It's just I didn't felt that since then, but for a few weeks and months, I felt like, gosh, I'm the center of the universe. I'm the center of this whole movement. I don't even know what this movement's about, really, but I'm the center of it. I felt like so grounded. What was I doing? I was like baking bread. There was a sisters team that sold sandwiches on the street. This was 1973. They sold sandwiches with bean sprouts in them, and really healthy bread. We were so ahead of our time. And I baked the bread for them. I spent all day baking the bread. And I felt like I'm the center of the universe. And then I got my next job, which is even more the center, deeper. I was a truck driver for an ironworks company, like Tim and Gail, right? For an ironworks company, like Jack. I was a truck driver too. I did that gig. I've been there, done that.
I just kept doing it, that's all.
That's it, because you didn't have an accident like I did. I thought I was thinking ran into a Salvation Army truck. Totaled the truck, but I was okay. And I called, I found a payphone, and then I told my boss I had an accident. I was about 3 miles away from the shop, from the foundry, whatever it was. And I got there, and he says, okay, it was Friday afternoon, it was quitting time, and go home, sleep it off, it's okay. And I saw he wrote down on his little notepad, Tyler, Salvation. Because it was a Salvation, that's right. I said, I ran into a Salvation Army truck. He wrote down Salvation, Tyler, Salvation. I thought, wow, that's something good that came out of this. The next day, I was invited to go to Alaska, to just drop it all, just go somewhere else. And I said, okay, I'm ready to go. They'd asked me 2 months before to go to Los Angeles. I couldn't handle that, but Alaska's okay. I ended up in New Hampshire. I just got out of the van and they said, this is your area. This doesn't look like Alaska. It was New Hampshire. It was great. They were on the 6th day of the 7-day fast, the whole group, the whole center. That's what the cool thing is about. I love this word, the center. I'll talk about that. That's why I joined their fast. Caring, North Carolina. Okay, the response to Hayoung's illness. 2 weeks ago, I made the announcement, and like so many people called and want to come over. My wife is named Hayoung. They want to come over, and they're coming over. Like people we haven't met here. Brothers and sisters. Jack was there. Jack just came one person we didn't invite was Jack.
Of course.
But he came anyway. There were four other people there. And so he just got the vibration and he came. And he came with pastries. I finished them this morning. They were so good. Yeah, so much care from these. And I'm wondering, why don't I see these people at church? Because these people are really caring. So care brings together. Church don't bring people together as much as caring brings people together. Maybe we should all get sick. Okay? So caring for each other bridges barriers. Like I came in, I saw Gail. She said, "How you doing?" I said, "Good. How are you?" "I'm good." "You know, we're all good." Not really, but anyway. He was talking, "I'm so sick." Tell the truth. Okay, so I loved it when we called our houses centers. My spiritual life, this is the center. The center. I finally found the center. I've been looking for the center of the universe. I finally found it. It's his house. This should be the center. So let's make this house the center. Let's invite all our family to meet here and serve Him. They don't have to join our service, aka serve us. That's a Christian joke. It's not a serve us, it's a service. They don't have to come when we're doing our thing. They can come and do their thing, and we'll serve them, take care of them, etc., etc. How about that? Make it a real center. Let's pray. Our beloved Heavenly Parents, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, thank you for giving us this day, this morning. Thank you for the opportunity that I have to share. Your words, Jesus' words, same word. True Father's words, same word. It's the word that resonates in our own hearts. And we know we want to be this way. And we're trying. And sometimes we are this way. And we find we're in the center, Father, because you're in the middle in our relationship when we serve. And Father, we have so much love and so much energy and so much. We really feel you, we feel ourselves, Father. And we make other people happy, Father. And that increases the happiness quotient of this universe, Father. Father, and it means everything to you, Father. One drop of love, Father, one drop of tears, Father, can wash all the pain away. Thank you, Father, for this morning. And I offer this prayer and we pour together our gathering. Me, Tyler, Mayhem, Hendricks, the Center family. Mahanji. Let's have a moment of silent prayer and meditation.